Thanks for checking out this movie review video. So this is for the 2021 Shudder original film Great White. Yes, that means it's a shark film. So if you've been waiting for shark films, you could jump on this one. This one is coming on Thursday, November 11th, and because of that, because this review is coming out before the film is coming out, plus it's just a new film, no spoilers in this, although I will give a quick synopsis, although I'm not sure you really need a synopsis for a film called Great White. Anyway, this is directed by Martin Wilson, who also directed the film Roll. Haven't seen it, not familiar. And written by Michael Boughen, spelled Boughen. He also wrote the script for Dying Breed, not familiar with that. Now, some people, if you start watching this, you may recognize the character of Kaz. Now, this is actually Katrina Bowden, who played the character of Allison in Tucker and Dale versus Evil. One of the best horror comedy films out there, I always say. Love that film. So it was great to see her, and I'm going to say this. She looks like the same, like exactly the same. So good on her for not looking like she's aged at all, even though it's been a while since that film. I'm sure that will serve her well in trying to continue to get more and more work. She looks the same, and her acting was really good. I think in general, the acting in this is quite strong, so that is a good selling point for the actual film. I do have to say, synopsis-wise, people go onto a boat, things go wrong, or actually, they don't even get onto a boat. They're on a plane, then they end up in the water in a boat, then things go wrong, and sharks. That's the synopsis. Like, you can't really give much more of a synopsis than that without like giving full details or giving too many details. It's a shark film. There really aren't that many shark films out there. I got really excited when I found out that this was coming because it's been a long time since I've watched a shark film. I think the last one I saw that I enjoyed was actually 47 Meters Down. Now, I feel like that film got panned a lot, but I thought it was quite good for a shark film. I think they did a really good job of tension building and holding that tension. Yeah, pretty good. Plus some really good underwater stuff. But anyway, this is about Great White. The opening scene is on par for what you basically expect for a shark film. It kind of hits you with a little bit of action initially to kind of set the scene, set the stage for what we're going to be getting into here. Obviously, after that, after it slams up the title, Great White, it kind of reels things back and it slows down because you have to be introduced to characters. You have to learn who they are. You have to learn about their relationships and start to feel invested in them as people, and then they can start being being put into dangerous situations, and then you feel tense and you're, white knuckling it through the film. But I didn't quite feel like that, but you know what I'm saying. There's a conversation early on that gives you an idea about how the shark problem may end up cropping up. That didn't fully come to fruition, but it kind of sets the stage for a situation slash predicament that the main characters, the initial main characters, are in, which kind of drives some things. And I'm obviously intentionally being vague about this because I don't want to give too much away, honestly. I really, really don't. Beautiful scenery to look at. It's shot in a wonderful location. It looks beautiful, as you would probably assume. Most shark films don't shoot in like crappy, dreary areas, except, the most popular one, Jaws, doesn't have like great scenery, but I feel like every shark film since then has really strived to have very nice scenery to kind of add to the beauty of the film, and this does that for sure. They throw something into a relationship in this that I just rolled my eyes at when I heard it because it is a very cheap thing. It is overused in film, and it's one of those things that they throw in there as a part of lazy writing to try and invest an audience into a character or a few characters, just by saying one word, basically. Just one word, and just being like, now you must feel obligated to like this character. I hate that. Flesh out the character as a person, not something that's going on with them, and let's do it that way. That's the better thing. I hate it when they use very cliche things like this to try and pull at the heartstrings of audience members. It feels manipulative, but it feels lazy manipulative. Well, I mean, manipulative in general is like literally what film does to you because it makes you feel things that you don't want to, especially horror films. So that's a good thing. You want to be manipulated in a sense, but not in a cheap, stupid way. And they do that with this one thing. Now, that doesn't kill the film, though. It's just an aspect of it that I did not like. There are some really cool underwater shots. There's one in particular, you'll know what I'm talking about if you're watching this and you've already seen it or when you watch it. It's from like the very bottom, like the ocean floor basically, and you're seeing like some reef and stuff, and it's just a shot up of like showing the bottom of a boat. Beautiful, looks amazing. There's some sea life kind of moving around in it. Love that. That was my favorite shot of the film. But they do have some good underwater scenes. They're shot really well. And in general, this film is shot well. Cinematography, directing, it looks good. Like I said, the acting is good. The music is properly done. It's not too over the top, although, it gets strong where it needs to. I feel like that's common with shark films. But it's not too much. It's appropriate for what's going on in the film. But I really like the underwater shooting. They have the obligatory "how screwed are we" conversation in this film, so I feel like you can't get away from that with a film like this, honestly. So I don't really blame them for that. But it is kind of that obligatory, like I said, you're gonna get it in every film like this. People have to have the conversation. What are our odds? What are our opportunities? How are we gonna die, do you think? Let's get all ho-hum about it. That's just to be expected. It just feels like if you want to watch something like a shark film, there's just certain things you're going to have to slog through to get to the end to see if the payoff is good enough. The film is pretty slow for quite a while. It's an hour and 31 minutes with credits. Now, I would definitely argue that it should be cut down. I do feel like it's one of those films that was stretched a little bit to try and hit that runtime. You probably can't cut like too much out of it because I get why part of it is slow, but they definitely could have cut out about like 15 minutes or so, in my opinion. You definitely do feel at times like they were just trying to stretch it to hit a runtime. There are a few conversations / arguments that seem to just continually keep happening, and that's the type of stuff I'm talking about, where it feels like they're just trying to hit the same thing over and over and over again, and you're just like, we got it, we're good, can we move forward? Also, where are the sharks? Where are the sharks? And I will say, if you're looking for a lot of sharks in this, there are not a lot of sharks in this. You see sharks, you see some decent death at well, I was going to say at the hands of sharks. They don't really have hands. At the fins of sharks, at the jaws of sharks, basically. But I feel like for knowing that it's not like a high budget film, I feel like there's enough shark in it. I just once again wish that it was trimmed down editing wise, and then the proportion of shark to not shark would be a little bit better. But I really would have liked to see more shark action, and I'm sure a lot of people would, but I understand you can't necessarily get that when there are lower budgets involved. Some of the characters come off as squabbling idiots, which seems like a way to stretch the runtime. Also, you just don't really like those characters, and I feel like in movies like this, you should probably like all the characters, because then when bad things potentially happen to them, you care more. I mean, that's kind of the point of like writing characters into stuff like this a lot of the time, especially in a situation like this, where it's not like people are doing really terrible things like in a slasher film, and so they're like gonna get theirs. These types of films don't usually do stuff like that, so when you just have like squabbling idiots in there, they just get annoying and kind of seem like throwaway characters in a sense. There are night portions within this film, and I think they did a very good job actually lighting it properly. One of my biggest pet peeves is when films have dark sequences that you have a hard time making out what's going on. That is not at play here, so thank you very much to the filmmakers for doing a proper job with lighting in dark settings. You did a wonderful job with that. I really appreciate it. About an hour and 15 minutes into it is what people are looking for. This is where it starts to really pick up. Unfortunately, it's an hour and 15 minutes in, and you only have like 16 minutes left. So, but I'm going to be honest, it's a pretty good 16 minutes. Like, honestly, the film was losing me because not enough shark at that point, felt kind of slow, felt like they stretched the runtime, didn't seem that original or interesting, because honestly, you have to bring something very original or interesting to a shark film to like actually stand out as a shark film, because there's a lot of samesies going on here. So yeah. But I think within the very end of the film, like that last like 15, 16 minutes, pretty good actually. And it reeled me back in, pun intended. It totally reeled me back into the film at that point, and I was like, you know what? I'm good with the time I just spent watching this film now because that's a good payoff. And isn't that what we all want in the end? So for that reason, I'm going to say that this is definitely a film that people who are into shark films should see. It's not going to be for everyone. If you're not into shark films in general, you're probably not going to love it. You may even turn it off before you even get to the end. But for people who are willing to stick it out, or like I said, people who are really big into shark films and you just want to see shark stuff, the end is a good payoff. It really is. There is some really stylish, interesting, cool stuff that they do at the very end of the film. Good climax to it, so I like that. There is something towards the end with a character, though, that I'm sure a lot of people are going to kind of think or say audibly, yeah, I don't think so. There is something that you're just like, no, no, I don't buy that. I definitely don't buy that. And it's not that it's the way they chose to do it. Well, it's specifically how long they waited to do something that you're just like, no, no, that's null and void now, pal. They could have just, made something happen a lot sooner and it would have been more realistic, but it's a minor thing. It's a movie, we have to expect that type of stuff. But really, really a payoff I was happy with in the end. Unfortunately, the frequency at which shark stuff happens is not quite frequently enough for a lot of people. But like I said, like the payoff is good enough. So if you are into shark stuff, just stick it out. Really stick it out. So anyway, I am most interested in talking to other people about this film in the comments. So if you have seen it or if you do see it, you can come back here and we can talk in the comments and we can do spoilers. We can talk spoilers in the comments. So I would specifically like to hear your thoughts on the very ending of the film. Now, I'm going to do my rating out of 5 stars with half stars in play. It is a 3-star rating. I really can't go higher than that because there were a lot of problems. I was thinking about honestly giving it like a 2-star rating until the end happened, and I was like, okay, you threw me something that I could work with here. It's something to keep me happy at the end. So 3-star rating on this one. I enjoyed it. So anyway, thanks everyone for checking this out. Please do me a quick favor. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, you are the awesomest. Not really a word. You are awesome. And I really do appreciate it. It literally keeps me motivated to keep doing these videos because sometimes, I get busy. It can feel a little bit like work at times if I feel like I have to get videos up because they're scheduled. I'm doing like 4 videos a week and I don't make money doing this or anything. I have a normal job and all that stuff. So I say all that to say, this is your way to repay me. Subscribe to the channel. Also hit the notification bell button because it helps if people are watching my videos as soon as they're going up or not long after they go up. Helps them build traction. But regardless, I really do thank you for taking your time to check this video out. And until next time, keep it brutal.